dispatched a large amount of spiders. Abelin found out what the secret ingredient of the brewery is. And after dispatching the spiders, you also received, I believe it was 6 barrels or casks of the wine. Seems so coveted. You can see the hunters still chopping off whatever is worth chopping off of the spiders, taking their trophies. But other than that, your goal right now probably simply to return with your spoils. And this is where we start.
Ooh. Where's the casks of ale?
They are in the warehouse. You'd probably be able to just grab them on the way out.
Okay.
How big are they?
Very sizable.
So of a size that you can just basically put one under your arm.
Not quite that small, but there is also a cart that can very easily be loaded and hold back down the trail you took up to the brewery.
We'll have to borrow
As
a
you are
giant
not far from the city.
We'll have to borrow what?
a giant weasel.
Nice.
There's no weasels.
I was about to say that too, but I didn't want to be the guy again. Thank you for doing it for me.
They were all eaten.
No.
By giant weasels.
Weasel.
Are those actual weasels?
I think Beggar said something about rats that aren't there, but I'm not sure. They're not there anyway.
Okay, well.
Yeah, and I mean, Offendum looks like Offeldem. I mean, looks like he's strong enough to steer the wagon.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else we need to do today other than get back.
I don't believe so.
Right, well then, let's get back on the road.
There are a few things we can do.
Oh.
Drink.
Uh.
Always good after a successful hunt.
That is very true, I suppose. We could treat ourselves to some of this brew. But not too much.
I mean, I'm sure we could just wait till we get back to the tavern and have a more relaxed setting.
Very true. I'm sure that the innkeeper will be happy to see us, and that's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
We bring trophy, you bring ale.
Seems fair.
Yep.
Okay.
You see both Offeldem as well as Ardun carry mostly chitin plates and large pieces, especially of the lower parts of the legs. They almost look like tusks, except quite sharp. They load them onto the cart together with your barrels of ale, and yeah,
Beggar,
it looks like you are ready.
Could I backtrack to where I had been bitten by a spider and see if that spider corpse was still there?
Yes.
and see if I couldn't get any of the venom from it.
Okay. Let's see. Give me a nature check.
And I'd probably be using my tinkerer's tools to do it, to try and... I don't know if it would be the tinkerer's tools, but as far as like some of my tools
Do
to
your
try and...
tinkerer's tools include sharp knives?
Yes.
Then probably.
Also, I picked up my iron pot.
Mm, that's gonna be a 12.
You see the fangs of the spider, and it appears obvious that as the spider bites, it sort of pumps the blood manually. You follow along this tusk almost all the way to the body of the spider. You make a few incisions. The first time you cut in, you unfortunately also cut the venom gland, and a good measure of it just spills out. But the other one, from the other fang, you manage to carefully extract, now aware of the exact location of it, and you receive one venom gland.
Cool. Thank you. Get that for later, and I'll go head out.
I will help carry some ale.
I will not.
We can leave.
By the way, the huge spider in the picture,
Yes.
it had like a lot of like weapons and stuff stuck into it. Is that actually something that is there? So I can just go through them to see if there's something of worth in them.
They are there. Most of them are rusted, old, many of them broken. You would imagine that partly it's due to the large amount of acid the spider produces. The ones that do look intact that you pull out where they pierced the flesh of the spider seem almost dissolved halfway through, as the blood of the spider itself seems to be somewhat acidic.
Sadly, no magic weapon here. Was worth a try. Yeah, but yeah, I guess I just leave the junk where it is and just follow the rest of the group.
Together with the hunters, them very happy about the hunt, somewhat humming a tune as they make their way down. Opheldum, of course, as the biggest, pulling the cart. And a few hours later, now at early night time, you arrive back at the gates of the city. As you are about to enter, a guard of Polythreme steps in front of you. And for a moment, musters all of you and the load you have on your cart, before then stepping aside once again and letting you through into the city. It is early night, but even in the outer ring, all of the lanterns and lamps are already brightly lit.
We know where we go, but your barrels, where do they go?
To that bar we met at. You remember the bar we met up at?
The venerable swordsman.
Right. Yes, not close from shop.
Yeah.
Feldham again starts pulling the cart. You make your way towards the shop where the hunters load off a few of the parts they've gathered, keeping some of them on the wagon, and then towards the shop. The way is a little bit more complicated this time, as the cart quite wide, and you can't take all of the same alleyways that you've taken before. But you arrive at the Venerable Swordsman.
What time of day is it?
It is early night.
Hmm.
Go knock on the door.
You knock on the door once, twice, and there is no response.
Endor, are you around?
No response.
Hmm.
Is the door unlocked?
Do you try to open the door?
Mm-hmm.
How exactly do you try to open the door?
Well, I'm just trying to double check to see if it's unlocked right now. So I'm just trying to, if it's a lever or
It's sort of
Turn.
a lever handle.
so I'm just gonna pull on the lever and see if it's unlocked.
You pull the lever down and you pull, and it appears apparent that the door is definitely locked.
I mean, he has had trouble with people trying to get in, so it's not surprising at night.
It's probably sleeping already.
Could be.
I'm gonna go over to this window.
Now is not the time to sleep for a bar.
You see Opheldum walk up to the door. And then you just hear womp, womp, womp. A few moments later, you can see a light moving inside.
Well,
You hear the familiar click of someone unlocking the door. And a second later, the door swings open. Just a small gap in the door where the barkeeper looks through.
Oh,
Somewhat scared at Feldum standing towering in front of this door and looking rather bloodied still. Not of his own blood, mind you, but
Ale delivery?
well, it's you're quite early, or yeah, I didn't expect you until maybe in a few days. Are you? Was everything all right?
Oh, it was easily taken care of.
Yeah.
Just like
Sure.
that?
I mean, it'll take a while to get it back running, but
In the meantime, we've got you something to hold you out.
also at the word just like that, Soleil looks at him, and like he looks bloody, and his fur is completely all over the place, and,
yeah.
and even his head is a little bit like to the side, so it doesn't really sit on his head like it's used to, and yeah, he just stares at him.
You hear the door close again, some fumbling behind the door as then the double door fully swings open. Come inside. You see that he is wearing a nightgown. I'll start a fire and I'll have to hear the story, I suppose.
We might as well unload this. Kind
Hmm.
of like grab
I'll help with the
somebody
barrel.
else. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't help.
He.
It's pretty tiny bar for such great name, but big fireplace.
The fire starts small, but quite quickly the rest of the logs that are inside the fireplace start catching fire. Immediately, this warmth washes over you, and you start to feel kind of tired. For a moment, the barkeeper returns into his living quarters, and as he steps back out a couple of minutes later, he is very casually dressed. You said you already had some stock? How much do you...
Yeah, I
Like
think
that.
during those couple of minutes we probably just
5
Yeah.
barrels.
in.
Yeah.
I've got 5 barrels for you.
Oh, that's great. Well, I mean, it's probably not enough to keep open for a whole week, but well, there's a few things we can send out. Send out the word. There's some people I have to hire in the first place, and get the word out. Say, what did you say you called yourself again?
The Quartermains.
Quatermains. I've heard of Quatermains, but you as a group, you don't have a name. You know, the like the 5 heroes, the 6 hunters. It's, I mean, not necessary, but
The Tieflings.
the venerable swordsman is a place of
Oh, never mind.
renown and great heroes. It's sort of the whole theme. And if I'm to, start a reopening, and love to sing your praises.
Hmm.
Just, think on it, perhaps.
Right, I'm sure you can think of something.
Yeah, like I said, the Tieflings.
I'm sorry. What?
You're right. I think I need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The shady,
I'm still trying to-
the shady bunch.
Oh yeah. That's a good
You're
one.
all shady.
Feldum helps him put a couple of the large barrels inside a
We
back
have one of
room
these that
and
we're
behind
keeping
the
for
counter.
ourselves. We can go ahead and open that though, for drinks for our companions here.
Of course, yeah.
I'm sure we won't drink all of it.
I'll get you some mugs, and as he brings you a couple of mugs, he also puts down a smaller barrel. This was the last reserve. When we happened to these big ones, perhaps the small one, you said you were interested in. Who was it again? One of the regulars.
Herald.
Yes, he drinks quite a lot. Perhaps you could bring him this small barrel.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Like that.
it'll be a couple of days before the bar opens up proper, so I figured if you wanted to deliver this personally, I'm sure he'd be happy to receive you.
That's a good thought. Yeah.
You wouldn't
So
happen to
maybe we'll do
know You wouldn't happen to know if he has like a private abode we should deliver this to, or just the church?
Well, I think he lives at the church.
Alright,
So
fair enough.
I'm not sure. I've sent runners before, but they've always found a way. They've never told me there was anything special they needed to do. So I don't rightly know.
All right.
Oh, this warmth and the ale, I'm about to drift off.
Well, drink first.
Sure.
You see Ophelding just hammer a tap into one of the large barrels with one single just hit.
Oh.
And he's also the first to immediately open the tap and just let himself out a mug. He downs it in 2 or 3 gulps and slams the mug on the table.
It's good. It's a bit sweet for my taste, but it's good. Not like spirit, though.
And are
And
there anything else
begins pouring the
potentially a bit
mugs for every one of you.
overs that might be a little bit stronger for our friend here?
Oh, we have a couple of spirits, sure, but yeah, I can get you a bottle. He wanders off, returning with a clear glass bottle of very clear liquid, which Opheldum very quickly takes, uncorks, and just starts chugging. He doesn't stop until the bottle is completely empty. And once it is, he lets it drop on the table.
Good. Good.
Well, your assistance was most certainly appreciated on this outing of sorts.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
both
meet
of you.
again, possibly, yes. Do more hunt.
Sure, if we got more monsters or something outside the city, sure.
Well,
You
where
know
to
who
go.
to call.
Exactly.
Does your hunter lodge has a name? I don't remember. Seeing
We
something
don't
like
really
that.
have a home. We just wander. I guess we too do not have a name. They call us monster hunters wherever we go, but not a very catchy name. Perhaps you give us one.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know. Tell me about all the great creatures that you've killed and hunted. Maybe that would help.
I do not know all by name. If you cannot think of name, it's okay. Greatest legends do not need name. I'm not here for ballad.
Glorious bastards.
Well,
That was
you
like
make sure drink up, because me and Adun, we have work to do still. Lots of monster part to chop up.
Oh my.
I know we need to be heading back as well afterwards. Get some rest.
Also, we can look after Kara. She didn't look good last time.
Right.
you say that was like a spider queen? Like a
Probably brood mother.
brood mother. Hmm.
Not sure if they have smart for queen and king.
Oh, right.
What about Slayer's Menagerie?
Yeah, I was thinking of something Slayers too, but like Queen Slayers or
That
brood
sounds
Slayers.
difficult to pronounce.
Menagerie?
Beast slayers.
FYI, Becca, I don't drink any of the ale.
Okay.
Just for now.
I'm not gonna drink
Well,
much, but I'm gonna try it because I want to
I
find
wish
out what
you
the
great
secret
hunts.
ingredient is.
At least 2
And I
cups.
wish you great many more hunts to come.
Well, you as well.
See you on
Stay
top.
alive.
And both of them leave. As the door closes, you hear the cart being pulled away. And they are off.
I'm gonna try and figure out by taste what the secret ingredient is.
Okay.
I don't drink
So
much.
who
It's
drinks
always
of
just a
the
little sip all the time. Just
Who drinks off the ale?
I do.
Harriet. I do.
Give me a con save. What? I guess it's more a con check. It's not a save.
Con check, just con. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
18.
21.
Natural 1.
This ale hits you hard, Red. Immediately you feel your blood just rushing to your head. With the warmth and the wounds, you just feel like you're about to just zonk out. The rest of
mean-
you feel like the ale kind of loosens your muscles. It is quite a well-tasting ale.
That's actually not bad, but I have no idea what this might remind me of. Tastes very unfamiliar, but not bad actually.
Mm.
Brad starts doing the nod.
Well, should we be heading back? Or, were you going to try and find somewhere else to rest you up for the night?
Yeah, I guess let's head back.
What time is it roughly around now, Beggar?
About 11.
Okay. And it's like a hour or 2 hours back or something?
What do you mean?
How far away are we from our
Quartermains.
remains?
About an hour.
It's not too
The Venerable Swordsman is very close to the center of the city, and so is Quartermains.
bad. Okay. Right. Well, Andor, we appreciate you opening your doors at the late hour. Or something, since we've already done all of this work for you. And, you trust that you'll take care of the rest?
Yeah, this is the part where I can handle things, I think.
I'll appreciate the small barrel as well. I guess we'll be out. Rhett, are you able to stand straight there?
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Yeah, I'm tired out after last night, and then man, we were just going straight there.
It was a adventure.
Ready to be back in my own bed.
So we have one barrel that's been partially drunk, is that correct? And then we were given a small barrel?
Well, the large barrel that's partially drunk, are you taking that with you, or are you leaving it there?
Because we had, what, six barrels,
Yes.
and we opened one.
Yes.
We,
So
I
these
think we're
barrels are quite large. The small
Think-
cask you have is basically, you know, a small one that you could hold in under your arm.
I think we're just supposed to take the small one.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to take a couple of vials to use for like the barrel that we already opened, and
Okay.
fill those up
Okay.
to take with me. But then we can head out.
I look at Red. Is she gonna drink that tonight?
I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. We could make an alchemy shop themed tavern where people drink out of vials.
Yeah.
Probably be people might be into it and draw on a new crowd. Get upcharge it for the use of the vials and be able to
Reduced
get more
portion
for your
sizes.
portions.
And same house.
Thank you.
Hmm.
People always pay
Alright.
more if they think that they're getting something special.
Well, you can make them different colors and stuff to make it even more impressive.
I should write that down somewhere.
I'm looking
Alright.
back in my notes, but what did they call this ale again? Was it just Dragonheart Brew?
I
Or
think
was that-
so.
Because that was the brewery.
Seems like that.
but-
I don't remember if I gave it a
Ah,
name.
that's fine. We're just...
Wow.
So, do they call this Dragonheart Brew then?
Yes.
All right. I'm just marking it down. And we will head out.
Yes, we should probably let him get some sleep. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
On the way back, I'm just gonna be telling Kieran to keep an eye out for any pickpockets or something like that as we head on. Because I'm tired and I don't want to look myself.
Well, surprisingly, even though it is a little bit darker at night, there seem to not be that many people wandering around at least the middle part of where the chain lifts go up towards the medial district. The way back towards Quartermains itself is relatively quiet. And you arrive at the gates of Quartermains within the hour. For Red, for you, this journey is long and grueling. You are so tired.
My legs are out of tune.
You don't tune your legs, Rhett.
Might be the problem. That's a good point, man.
Mm-hmm.
As you open the door of the kitchen slightly opens, and as Elith sees the rest of you, he nods and he closes the door again.
But he's here late.
I go into the kitchen and ask him for a midnight snack. Like a piece of cheese or something.
A piece of cheese? I mean, it's not much of a snack, but sure, I mean, cheese is right there. There's a knife.
I'm just following my nose, grabbing raw meat and leaving.
Going to bed to sleep off this.
You don't
little
see it, but
exhaustion I
Soleil,
have.
you see Aelith sort of look with great concern as Catherine just walks in and just grabs a piece of meat and just walks back out.
I'm so
Oh,
happy.
that's
So
fine.
happy.
That's fine. You don't have to be concerned. That's normal for her. Soleil
Whoa.
says while he stuffs his face with a piece of cheese, I guess. And you can see a little piece of cheese you can see hanging in his whiskers in that moment while he's chewing.
With the same questioning look, he looks away from the door towards you. He looks like he's about to say something. Then his eye falls on, you munching on cheese and cheese around your mouth, and he just... Well, I guess that's it for me for the night. I'll see you in the morning.
See ya.
And he leaves. On his motorbike, apparently.
Okay.
I didn't know mopeds were invented.
Okay, so everyone just takes their long rest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, they have robots and like other stuff and
And steam
weapons
power.
and cannons and guns and stuff. So it's not too far fetched to have little moped.
Yeah.
You awaken in the morning, and you're awakened by just the most wonderful smell, Soleil. It smells like fresh bacon.
Hmm. Hmm. I open the door and see and try and look if anyone's there on this floor, awake
The
already.
lanterns have been lit, but there doesn't seem to be anyone outside at this time.
I want to follow the smell.
You can somewhat tell as you go down from the windows that the sun is still pretty low, which for Quartermains, being kind of close to the middle, it is usually shrouded in darkness. This is probably the time when it is brightest around Quartermain. And as you go down, you can very, very clearly smell that smell is coming from the kitchen.
I want to take a look out from the front window before I go to the kitchen to see why it's... to look why it's maybe a little bit darker than usual.
No, it's brighter.
Oh, it's brighter than usual. Oh, why it's brighter than usual?
Well, because the sun is basically still very low.
Oh, okay. I see.
And at this angle, it shines deep into the city. Whereas at noon, the shadow from the district above basically shrouds Quatermains in complete darkness, save of course for the many lanterns that line the streets.
So many health points. Okay. And yeah, for a moment there I just enjoy the sun on my fur, but then I walk to the kitchen because it smells too good.
You see Aelith there, 2 pans frying bacon. The sizzle is loud, almost, and for a moment he doesn't realize that anyone's entered. Especially with your not very loud footsteps.
Good morning!
You smell another smell intermixed with the bacon. It's something more herby almost, and as Aelith turns around, you see that he is smoking a pipe as he's cooking. So, good morning. Breakfast should be done in a bit. You could wait in the eating hall and get the others, I suppose.
Sure. By the way, it smells good already. And I give him a
Well,
thumbs up and just turn
yes,
around
they
and leave. And I'll go up and knock on some doors. And with some, I mean all of them.
As you knock on Kara's room, you get no response.
Kara? I try and see if the door is openable.
The doors are knocked.
Gonna knock first and open it a little bit and see if she's there.
The room is still shrouded in darkness. All of the shutters of the windows are closed, and you do see Kara sleeping deeply.
I get closer next to her bed to see if she's...
How stealthily do you
Alright.
do this? Do you try to be stealthy?
Yes, I
Or
guess so.
just quiet and careful? Give me a stealth check.
That's a 21.
Yeah, you carefully approach. You see her breathing. There is some sweat on her forehead, but it doesn't look like she is in pain or her breathing is labored.
Okay. Well, she looks like she needs a little bit more rest, I guess. So yeah, just as quiet as I went in there, I get back out and close the door and knock at Abelyn's and Red's door next.
Oh, something smells good out here.
Yeah, breakfast is already finished. We can slowly make our way to the dining room.
I'll be done in a moment.
Well, they just needed to clean up a little. Slept in.
I knock at Sam's door.
You get no response.
I open the door to see if she's there.
The shutters in this room are open. and the room is, at this point, relatively brightly lit, but the bed appears to be empty.
I thought she would take care of Kara while we're gone. I wonder where she went. Maybe buying medicine? I also knock at the door of our friend Reginald.
You get no response.
But for him, I don't even try and open the door. I'm like, okay, I did my job. Maybe he's not. Let's just go.
Wow. You're not wrong. You gotta knock on the door with a carrot.
Down we go. Looking much better. Cleaned up. Clothes mended.
I'll just let the others know that Kara looks like she needs a little bit more rest. And that I haven't
As you
seen
all
Sam
take
anywhere.
as you all take your place, Elth comes in and he starts putting plates down on the table. He doesn't really walk up to anyone placing the plate down in front of him. He just kind of places them all at the corner. And
Scoop one over for
yeah,
myself.
the plates are filled with some fresh tomatoes, some fried bacon, some fried eggs, and pretty much that's it. And Soleil, you notice that the pipe is noticeably absent.
Oh, thank you. This looks delicious.
It's all right.
It smells great too.
I don't know what any one of us ever had doubts about him.
Doubts. Who had doubts?
That was out of character. Soleil wasn't even there. He thinks he's just a genuine cook.
I think he thinks I'm gonna eat him.
Is he wrong?
Can't imagine why.
Is he wrong?
I don't eat people.
Yet.
Ah, looks
Depending
like
on the
everyone's
mood.
already here.
No,
Oh, Reginald.
Hey, Reg.
Hello.
So we
How
were
is,
successful yesterday.
Good. You have made progress. Are you done yet?
Not
No.
done yet, but ever a step closer.
Well, the fact that you're making progress in the first place is admirable. Especially where others have failed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we intend to do today.
Well, I could go deliver a barrel veil.
I also need to check in with Rond, see if that observatory thing is in yet.
Right. Say, Reginald, have we had any letters here?
Not today.
Okay. That might take another couple days for those.
Where is the church?
It's in the lower district.
Hmm. Is it like is it in the same direction as the order hall or?
The other hall is on the medial.
Mm. Mm.
So are we going to see the cleanses then? After we check in with Gron, perhaps?
Mm,
Do we have a general idea of where the church is at all?
Yeah. You'd probably seen it just having lived in Polythreme for a while. Probably from a distance, but you know roughly where it is. It is somewhere between the inner slums and the train station.
uh,
Red, I guess for the invitations to the party you're at it?
Well, that's what I was asking about the letters.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
expecting a letter back at some point, as I think is Evelyn.
Really looking forward to it.
Okay, do we need
That
a
was
plan B
sarcasm.
in case we don't get a letter?
I mean, maybe.
Because I feel like it's not gonna be easy to get to the upper quarters to a party we don't have an invitation for.
Yeah, could be.
I feel like the party might be the plan B.
Maybe if we offer some of the ale for the party, that
That's
might
an
give us
idea.
a way in. Because as far as I remember, that vampire guy was also into that ale. Also one of the customers in the Venerable Swordsman.
I don't recall if that was.
I mean, he certainly enjoys socializing and parties and drinks, so certainly
We're talking about
possible.
the lower district, which is probably less likely.
But yeah, Becca, I don't know if I remember correctly. Was he one of the customers in the bar? Or
He was.
He was, right? Okay.
Yeah. It was also not unusual as a socialite. He'd probably show up relatively often whenever other people of higher stature were around.
So, and we were waiting for the party because we felt like that was our best chance to talk to him? Or was he out of town until then? Or
Yes.
Okay.
He was out of town until then.
okay, so no reason to try and reach out to him before that. Okay.
It sounds like we're probably going to either try to. I mean, we don't really know what happened to Lancaster.
Right, we need to get into the upper district for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They
So
took
she
her.
was moved, unless
there.
that was something that your guild had done. Catherine. Otherwise, I think the only other direction we have to go right now is to try to talk to Herbold.
I mean, it's possible the guild might have, or the order might have gotten some news of where Looncaster might have been, or
When you
What
went
is
to
that?
talk to them, did they say anything about that?
oh god, I forget what I said. I believe I believe I told them, and they were unaware. I think.
They're not very likely then. If we're going to talk to Herbold, do we have any idea of what we're going to try and ask him?
Yeah, that is the question. At the very least, it
Well,
sounds
he's-
like
One of the cleansers could probably talk about the fire. Well,
speaking of
but
fire and
as
fire
far as
trucks.
getting any answers,
The fire truck outside quartermates right now.
it's the cleansers.
Who
I
needs
just picture the cleansers going around with fire signs.
who needs DDD when we have heated?
I mean, I know we suspect him, or we're just hoping to find something to fall in our laps if we go there.
Well, I think the idea was get him a little tipsy and see if he enjoys talking.
Hmm.
So I went to the trouble of getting the cask and such, I think.
Right. So we can bring him the cask.
We've heard
Offer him a
about your
drink.
great work for this and that, and tell us of your exploits, and oh, here, have another drink type of thing.
Yeah, and somehow we can be like, when we talk about Easterville, we can be like, oh, have you heard about Easterville? She had it coming. Was a terrible woman, don't you think too? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not good at talking.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, after he's a little tipsy and you get him talking and comfortable, then you bring that up and see if he just starts saying things.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like that.
Yeah.
Didn't I find a letter from Harold to Istaville?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember which of these things in lore it was.
Should probably have labeled them. Hold on.
Or, oh wait, maybe it's in the Google Docs?
Yeah, I feel like he
it's
didn't put the letter in the
definitely
lore,
there.
right?
It is there, but
They don't.
Oh yeah, Easterville, I have now
against-
words to describe how many lines you've crossed.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
something like that. 7th of November.
Well, there's this letter from him.
Yeah? Weren't you asking about that letter?
It's a bit incriminating. Maybe he wouldn't want it to get out.
I somewhat doubt a person of a fanatical nature would really care.
Hmm.
Perhaps, but I doubt.
Yeah, there are like two things I feel like. First, I still felt like when we looked at all the evidence that it felt like they have been a little bit staged. The oil and everything that led to these
We could.
guys.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I feel like he would be more of a guy that, like, actually, like, would send a whole crusade there and basically burn her on a pyre in the middle of the city instead of just doing it in secrecy, you know?
Right.
I don't know,
Figured-
but that's what
do
it
we
feels like it
know-
would have been if he actually were
Do you know what
involved.
sort of jurisdiction, if any, that the cleansers have? Like, do they
inside
have-
the city, pretty much none.
Okay.
They
So-
are respected by, the town, the council. Their, let's say, escapades are tolerated because of the great help they have been for beating back the blind. But
But if they actually did kill someone, they would still be held accountable for it.
most likely,
Okay.
at least if it were publicly known.
Right. I mean, we
So,
could go in
yeah.
and suggest that they're being set up and see if they could give us anything to say otherwise.
Is the order... Do they have jurisdiction over stuff? Because they're on the council, right?
So are some cleansers.
Oh, okay. So it's like individuals.
The council isn't a small council. It is quite large. There's a lot
Okay.
of voices.
Okay.
So we're investigating the matter. We are looking at all leads. There is a lead pointing in that direction, but we can't believe that they would go to such lengths or something along those lines. Blah blah blah. Here's some ale. Tell us what you know, kind of a thing.
Hmm.
Start friendly and then go down you know, yeah, go down that road if being friendly isn't getting us quite to where we want.
Just keep an eye out for lies.
Right.
More extreme defenses. People are always quick to give more information than necessary if they think that they're on your side. You're on their side.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It's a good approach.
Alright, so we'll go in saying that we've got a gift for Harold.
Yep.
Go about it that way.
That sounds great.
I will speak my cloak's command word to change it into like a big colorful cloak to hide my, I guess, like general order attire.
Mm-hmm.
What is the command word?
What word do you
Pineapple.
say?
Because you just say a random word and all of a sudden your cloak changes. I want to know what it is in character.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the command. Okay.
I don't know.
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
Alright.
Yeah.
Now that's some magic if I've ever seen it.
Well,
also bites.
that's a neat trick.
Oh,
Does it
Oh,
work
we were
when
talking-
when we say it too?
What?
No.
Oh, sad.
You need
That
to
would be so
attuned to
funny.
it. You can't just going around saying yeah.
We can try.
You can go around just saying that, but it's not gonna do anything.
we were talking about Lunacasta too. Reginald, do you have any way to get us access to the upper district?
Oh, I mean, there's probably some people I could ask, but I haven't been to the upper district since the days of the college, really.
Do it.
Nothing really there. I mean, most of my
Do it.
contacts there were my old colleagues, but as you know, they left on the Archaeon, you know, when they left the guys.
Reginald,
Yeah,
you
if
want
you
to
could
carry
get us.
Big hole behind. Kind of a power vacuum now that you think about it.
I just concentrate on my plate and eat more.
I'm gonna run to the kitchen, grab a carrot,
Oh God.
and then come back and just put it in front of me, Reginald.
If you put on a carrot, he just looks at you for a moment. Thank you. As I was saying,
It did work.
So who do we
probably
need to
still
talk to about him? Or
few
passes?
people I could
Or
reach to. Well, I mean, the Polythreme guards are the one who enforce the strict structure of Polythreme. So,
and the name of your
suppose
friend in the
if you
guard?
were to ask anyone, well, it's not a friend that you can just ask personal favors of. But I imagine he's quite busy these days.
It would help us for this mission.
Well, he's sort of more of an organizational captain. His name is Hess. And maybe you've
Hess?
not sure where you would find such time for such. Well, for him, surely trivial manner. They are kind of preoccupied with protecting the city.
His name was Hess?
Hest.
Hest. Okay.
Well, I suppose that's a helpful place to start.
And where would you think we could find this Hest?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I don't really know. We've met before at the council meeting or back at the college. He was back then one of the guardsmen when he wasn't the captain that was assigned to guarding the college gates. But obviously, with the college now gone, he's probably taken a different path. And I've heard that he's captain of the medial district, so I'm not sure if that is a less prestigious position, but I suppose he went up the same as he figuratively went down at the same time.
And what kind of favor does he owe you?
Well, we're just acquaintances. I wouldn't say that he owes me any favors or I owe him any.
But he at least knows the name and
Well,
knows
yeah,
who we are.
We've talked, we've met. Yes.
He knows you run a good organization.
I should say so.
That's a
I
good
should
start.
suppose everyone knows that Quatermains is quite reputable.
Well, I suppose we can inquire with the guards where he might be, or well, I don't know if we want to go all the way up to him, but
Certainly, as a guard, my captain, he'd be interested in solving a murder.
that's true. The guard was involved earlier on, weren't they? Or a kidnapping, for that matter. Doesn't sound like Luncaster went willingly. Don't know if your guild wants to, spread that around, though.
With the word kidnapping, by the way, you can for a second there you can see Soleil's ears shoot up and then just go down again, as if it was false alarm.
That's what I thought. Not a catnapping.
No, not because of that, but you don't know.
Secret. Nicky little snack.
And he concentrates on his bacon again.
The bacon is almost gone. This makes you a little bit sad. However, you see that Reginald has barely touched his.
Too busy on his carrot.
And he seems somewhat preoccupied with the whole conversation.
I just try and snag it away from under him.
Give me a stealth check.
This is when he throws a fireball at you.
14.
You reach over and with your fork you just sort of stab the bacon. And as you pull over to your plate, Reginald gives you a quick glance, but doesn't say anything.
Before it gets cold.
Well, several things to think about. I suppose we should get going on them.
Yes. Where are we giving...
Well, as you decide that, let's take a small, 10-minute break because I gotta go to the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Wow. And I gotta get a drink as well. My throat.
Wow.